Today we welcome Kasie Colbeck, who is a leader in the injectable aesthetics and skincare space since 2018. Prior to that, she worked as a global product ambassador and TV host and a personality for over 20 years. Passionate about wellness, longevity, and women's health, Kasie has been at the helm of Alastin Skincare in Canada since the company was acquired by Galderma and launched in Canada in October 2023. And today's episode was all about preventative health, longevity, skincare trends, the importance of, using elastin, especially for pre and post procedures. And it was just a lovely episode.
Yeah, it was great. We had a great conversation. Again, we talked about longevity being a big buzzword in the industry right now. It doesn't matter what podcast you're listening to, there is some point coming up with some sort of topic or like discussion on longevity and what it means. And she has a very well-rounded kind of understanding and approach to that whole subject, which we're not going to tell you all about today because you got to listen to the episode. But she certainly does have great presence. It's clear that she was a TV host and personality for 20 years because she's very, very articulate and great at, just engaging in a nice conversation. So it was a lot of fun speaking with her. And welcome to the podcast, Kasie. So I'm a very big podcast person. I love listening to podcasts. And one thing that I've noticed kind of across the board lately in the type of podcast that I listen to is this buzzword in the industry around longevity. Like everything I listen to is about longevity. So I was wondering if you could kind of go in that subject a little bit and talk about what is longevity to you and like the different elements on how to expand it so that people can understand what it means because it's a really big trend.
Yeah, I have to say, I think we are alive right now at such an incredible time. I think we've all seen before that meme where we're looking at one of the Golden Girls as compared to Jennifer Lopez at the exact same age, and we think to ourselves, okay, I would like to be the Jennifer Lopez in my aging into the 50s and 60s and beyond. So, what's the difference? And it can't just be a hairstyle, it goes beyond that. And we definitely know it's most likely not attributable to olive oil either. So, longevity, longevity to me is it's every facet, right? And Beata, I listen to the same podcast that you listen to as well. And I know that longevity is something that we're all looking for. We all want to age in such a way that we are taking preventative measures now to ensure optimized health down the road so that when we are into our 80s, 90s, even beyond, it's not about getting to a certain age. It's about getting to that age and living well at that age and not having to deal with chronic illness and not being someone who is battling multiple health issues. So anything that we can do today to help to age in such a way that we are going to have a very fulfilling, robust life throughout our 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and beyond is so, so important. And I think it's a hot topic, quite frankly, amongst everyone, but especially amongst women who are in their late 30s, 40s, perimenopausal, menopausal, other buzzwords that shouldn't be buzzwords. They should be part of our everyday language, but it's all part and parcel with living your best possible life and taking whatever healthy measures or measures you feel comfortable with to assure that healthy life down the road.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
love that. So it's got to do with
And
inside and outside, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything inside and outside.
in terms of skincare and specific to this episode, what are some of those preventative measures that you would recommend somebody take before like the premenopausal, perimenopausal? So what do you think those would be?
Yeah, so obviously, I will say I'm not a medical practitioner of any kind, but I am
Yeah.
someone who has a deep interest, just as you do, in skincare and skincare ingredients. And I really do think there are some non-negotiable, foundational, essential ingredients that everyone should be incorporating into their skincare routine. And as we age, we know that our cellular turnover begins to move as slow as Mike Tyson in rounds two through
Yes,
whatever it was.
that was
I think,
wild.
let's face it though, we're all rooting for Mike, right? We all, like
Yes,
Of
anyone over
course we
40,
were.
we're
Even
like,
I
please,
was, and I'm in
Mike.
my 30s.
Yeah,
Yeah,
please,
of
Mike,
course.
make us proud. But hey, at the end of the day, he didn't win, but he also didn't go down. So I think that that's the point there. But in terms of ingredients that are going to keep us on our toes and help to encourage that cellular turnover, vitamin A is a non-negotiable ingredient for the skin. Vitamin A and vitamin C are absolutely essential. Vitamin A is so, so important. And, it was once compared to me, and in conversation to me, a surgeon once described it as oxygen to the lungs is what vitamin A is for the skin. It is an absolutely essential ingredient, and in the right formulations as well, it can actually have some very incredible and powerful results in terms of helping to, of course, attack fine lines and wrinkles, but also certain forms of vitamin A are actually fantastic at helping to protect your skin against the sun. Not all forms of vitamin A make your skin sun sensitive. Vitamin C, of
Yeah.
course, essential. We need an antioxidant. We need to combat free radicals. I know anyone listening to this who's a dermatologist will lose their minds if I don't mention an SPF being in the equation as well. I'm a fan of mineral sunscreen, sun protection, so I love mineral SPFs. But to me, vitamin A, vitamin C, if you had only two, and of course, layer in all those botanicals and other amazing ingredients. Peptides, another buzzword
yeah,
that we're going to keep hearing so much more of, and I'm sure
you're
we'll
hearing
talk
it a
about
lot.
later.
Yeah, peptides is the big thing there. Yeah. So vitamin A being retinol.
That's right.
Yeah.
Vitamin A
For
being
for people
retinol,
that are
yes, and
listening.
there's exactly, and there's different forms. Yes, that's a
Mhm.
good point, actually. I know we'll talk about a little bit later on the younger generations, but one of my sons recently asked for vitamin A beta carotene because he was looking to get a natural tan to the skin, which actually is wild, and came off of I think TikTok or something. But his idea was that by taking excessive amounts of beta carotene you would get a natural glow to the skin. I'm like, well, you know what, when you were one you ate a lot of sweet potatoes and got the same effect, so maybe steer clear of the excessive supplementation. And there's lots of
Yeah.
ways to have healthy fantastic skin without overdoing it on any extreme. No extremes
Yeah, I know.
required.
That's the thing with
Yeah.
TikTok and stuff and Instagram. These trends come out, and all the young kids or younger generation will jump on it looking for kind of the miracle or like the solution that's uh, what they saw by somebody of influence. It's you got to ask yourself questions about those things. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So what about like in terms of skincare trends? What are you seeing in terms of skincare trends in the industry?
So, one of the big trends in the industry, and it's driven by two factors really. So, I will say the first is just a desire to simplify our lives. And so, we look at skin minimalism, but also an economic driver being that people, most people anyway, just can't afford a 10-step skin routine, especially if you're talking about really good quality skincare. So
Yeah.
I think that where we're seeing the skin minimalism, and with Alastin in particular, I know that we see this as well. We have certain hero products, and you'll see certain products in the marketplace. Anytime you have a powerful combination of ingredients that pack a big punch in one particular product, where a consumer knows, or we know as skincare enthusiasts, that you get a lot of bang for the buck out of that one product, that's a fantastic way to go. Just like everything in life, skincare doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, it shouldn't be complicated. And we're seeing actually quite a trend with men and skincare as well. And you ladies would notice that as well with Boutique Skin Envie, where a couple of years ago, 5, 10 years ago, it was such a small percentage of the population where most men probably used a bar of soap or something that maybe they, picked up for $5 at the local pharmacy. And now they're really taking skincare seriously. And maybe because oftentimes their partners in their 40s and 50s are looking really good and they're starting to feel
And they're like,
some of the
knock, knock,
pressure.
knock. Knock,
Yeah.
knock, knock. You need to do it too.
Yeah. And some of us may be subtle about it and some of us might be like, use this.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Don't
that's
use
some of
mine,
the
use your own.
yeah, use your own. So that's definitely one of the trends we're seeing is people looking for a fantastic skincare solution that's not complicated. Cleanse, moisturize, target, sun protection, the end. And quite frankly, at the end of the day, I'm always a proponent for simple is better. And I think that that's the way a lot of people are going. And in a lot of ways, also economically, it's good for the wallet as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Well,
I
that's
think
one thing
that
that
people
you noticed
have.
about. Sorry, Tash. I just want to say that's what
No,
I've noticed about Alastin. Like it's a very comprehensive brand, not a lot of SKUs, but comprehensive formulas in each one of the products so that you don't have to do so many steps. That's what I've
Yeah,
noticed.
we
And we'll
have
get
no
into that a little
redundant
bit.
products. We have no
Yeah.
redundant products. Everything is, uh, very targeted, and often most of them are multitaskers and totally differentiated.
Yeah, exactly. I like that term multitaskers. That makes a lot of sense.
You mentioned men and skincare, and I know that from obviously my experience, my boyfriend was also using a bar of soap, which was traumatizing. And now
Traumatizing. I
he's
love it.
using. It was very traumatizing. I'm like, what are we doing? I like would go over and I would shower, and then like my skin was like so dry, and I would just panic. But I noticed that like once you get them on a routine, they're very, very loyal to what they're
Yeah.
using. They're not. They're different consumers in comparison to women, where women are so open to try all these new things, and it's just we're just
Yeah.
like guinea pigs all the time, and men are just like, oh no, this really works for you, I'm going to stick with this. I
Yeah.
want to know, elastin, can we like debunk this a little bit in terms of like, because obviously elastin is unisex, right? It works for men and for women. So why is it that there's some brands that will have men just focus products, or like why is it confusing to men sometimes? Oh, I can't use that because that's for women, even though it is a unisex. Like let's try to debunk that a little bit.
Well, I will say a large part of that is marketing. If you can have
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
products catering to two different audiences, and then now there's, menopausal skincare, and then there's teen skincare, and then while there are definitely different stages in people's lives where they might need a different product, I think separating a product by gender, is a little. It's not something that we do with Alastin Skincare. Our
Yeah.
products are designed with one thing in mind, results. If you have skin and you're a human, then it's pretty much guaranteed that your skin is going to have a predictable reaction to our formulations, because Alastin tests all of its formulations very rigorously using scientific methods that are typically reserved for drugs, to be honest with you. We do
Yeah.
gene expression studies, biopsies, which is literally taking discarded tissue from facelifts and then testing the products on human tissue to see how it reacts before moving to our third step, which is clinical trials. So we can tell you with a fair degree of certainty that human skin is going to react a certain way because we've tested it that way. So when
Yeah.
I see gender specific skincare, it kind of raises a little bit of a flag with me, because that's not who Alastin is about. As a brand, we are welcoming of all skins. Doesn't matter,
That's
non-gender
good.
specific. Yeah.
Yeah. I think,
Yeah, I
like you
love that.
said,
I think
it's
that's
really
really
just a
important.
marketing thing. I do
Yeah.
think that like marketing, so like a man can buy his own particular products and the color of the product is more masculine than sort of
Or
neutral, but you find,
Or Bieta, something I should point out because I have three teenage sons. Well, actually, sorry, two. Only one's a
Wild.
teenager. The other two are men. I just keep thinking of them as young. So 21, 19, and 17. So my sons, the only reason they will say to me, "That's for girls, I want a product for guys," is because a lot of companies add fragrance to products that
yeah,
might smell like rose petals or pamplemousse or grapefruit and rosemary,
yeah,
and they want to smell like an oak tree meets a tobacco leaf for some interesting reason. So again,
Yeah.
Alastin's unscented. There's no fragrance added.
yeah,
So that's again plays into the gender neutrality of it.
yeah, absolutely. What about like Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas? Like, what are you seeing in that area?
So because I have my own, using my own family as my own focus group on what some of those younger generations are like, what we do see is this, both incredible interest in skincare and then almost this obsessiveness with looks that I don't think existed, Beata, certainly not with our generation, because
Yeah,
when we were young, we would leave school and never have any means of communicating or seeing what people were doing. There was no social influence outside of standing in the schoolyard or the classroom. It was just flipping through a magazine, and that was all you had. Where now there's this incessant, unrelenting pressure for Gen Zs and Gen Alpha to constantly be comparing themselves to a filtered version of whatever it is they think they should look like. And,
yeah,
quite honestly, I, I feel it's almost inhumane to think that
yeah,
these younger generations are growing up that way. I can't imagine your
the pressure.
brain just being flooded with
Yeah,
that negativity
yeah,
all day every day. So on the
yeah,
flip side, hey, it's great that you're taking an interest in health and skincare and beauty and wellness at a much younger age than we certainly did, but there's definitely a fine balance between what is a healthy interest in skincare and beauty and wellness and what is teetering on, something that is not good for one's mental health. That's for sure.
yeah. No, I agree with that. I agree with that. I mean, like going back to when I was growing up, the most exciting thing that could happen is somebody would like give you a note and you went home with the note and you got to read the note or passed you a note in class, but it wasn't a text message or like going on Instagram, that's for sure. Yeah, it's very
And you
different.
and you
I
knew
mean,
Very different.
exactly how everyone looked. There was no,
Yeah,
however Christine looked in class is how Christine looked on the weekend. There was no, filtered version of Christine
I
to make
know.
you
I
feel
know.
badly about
I find it
yourself.
quite concerning. Like it concerns me a lot, and
Hmm.
we take that into consideration at Boutique Skin Envy. Also, how we communicate is really like embracing beauty, no matter what your skin looks like, or if you have acne, or everything is perfect, and you're beautiful just like that. You know what I mean? So,
And that should be the
skincare
only
being like
message.
something to help you with. Pardon me?
Mhm. Yeah, and that's exactly it. Skincare at a young age, for especially for Gen Alpha, can maybe just be about, cleansing your skin. If you have acne-prone skin, maybe applying, a product that's going to help combat that oil and that acne.
Hmm.
But other than that and some sun protection, it really shouldn't be this. I don't know. I just laugh at some of those makeup tutorials that you see where they're just streaking on huge blobs and mapping out,
Yeah,
contouring. It looks like some sort of an abstract art piece and then blotting it all out. And
yeah.
then I
Oh,
think,
and
wow, I
and then the
need to
makeup
either,
they put on. It's
yeah.
concerning because the makeup they're using is like blocking their pores. It's just going to accentuate
Hmm.
all of the issues that are going on underneath. But what I
Hmm.
love so much about, well, bringing it back to the brand Alastin is that really comprehensive approach, less is more, and really skin correction in a formula that's complete. So not too many steps. And it's very exciting to know that we're also in a time when we know that this is going on about this like illusion of perfection and what you should look like, and comparing yourself to other filtered versions of people that you know, is to know that you can go to a brand like Alastin and really find, you know, solutions to help you take you on that skin journey that you're on, to be able to get the results that you're looking for. Like, I find that very, very encouraging. It's just we need to make sure that people know about it. You know,
Yeah.
not enough people know about it.
Yeah, and it's a very no nonsense brand. Like, don't get me wrong. This brand is relatively new to Canada. Alastin has been around in the US since 2015 and is just now expanding globally. So now Alastin's available as of last year in Mexico, Australia, Colombia, Brazil, the UK. It's about to launch into Asian markets in 2025. So this is about to be a massive global brand, and the reason for the success really is the science. This is a peptide powered skincare brand that is very narrowed down in a world where most skincare companies and skincare lines have 40 plus products. We only have about 15, 14 products, and we're keeping it very tight because that's all you need. We have a pigmentation product, the end. We don't need 3 versions of it. We know that we've mastered Illuminate, and we know that in tests, head to head, it outperforms 4% hydroquinone without any of the ill effects of and side effects of hydroquinone. That's a powerful statement. And so Alastin never brings a product to market unless it is completely differentiated from anything else that exists. And that goes for, you know, our HA Immerse is a targeted serum that is very popular using high molecular weight hyaluronic acid. Why? Because that's what our body has naturally, but also because we know that while low molecular weight hyaluronic acid penetrates the skin easily, it's also pro-inflammatory in the skin. So we have an encapsulated form of this large molecular HA that travels into the skin and gives you lasting hydration topically and within the skin. So yes, it's a premium product, and you're definitely not going to find an Alastin product for under $10 or even under 50 or even under 75, but it's because when you are investing in a medical grade premium skincare brand, you know that, or you should know, and feel free to ask. This is another tip for anyone listening. Do your research, because we do live in a world with very aggressive marketing, and do your research. And if there are peer-reviewed published clinical studies on PubMed that you can research and find, that's your peace of mind. That's your insurance policy that what you're investing in is really going to do the job. And so that's really the main difference with Alastin.
I am loving Jan Marini's Luminate Eye Gel. I've been using it for months, and it's my favorite product for tackling dark circles, puffiness, and crepiness. It's packed with retinol power, but gentle enough for everyone. And if you're dealing with milia, its gentle formula hydrates without being too rich. You apply it under eyes only and never on the lids. And remember, as with most retinols, there's an acclimation period. So start slowly, like 2 to 3 nights per week, and then gradually increase to every night. I promise you won't be disappointed. If you want to try this product, go to bskinenvy.ca. That's bskinenvie.ca and use code SKINTALKS to get 10% off your first order. Yeah. So I just want to go back to like
quickly
when Alastin first started. The brand, it wasn't that long ago. I think you mentioned 2016?
2015 it launched in the US. Yeah.
Okay, so it's just not even 10 years. But the original purpose of Alastin, from my memory, is really was dealing with like pre-procedure and post-procedure.
Exactly.
So it was really formulated for the derm, medical professional, medical esthetician, really for that purpose. Can you get into that?
And it still is. Yeah, and it still is. So our hero product that started it all is Alastin Skin Nectar. It has a cult following, and it really was created because in the world of skincare, there was a gap, and that was supporting procedures. Dermatologists, plastic surgeons, medical aesthetics spas, estheticians that were performing anything from surgery to laser treatments to ablative and non-ablative treatments really didn't have a true skincare line to support that patient's experience before they had their treatment and after the treatment in a way that would impact very significantly the recovery of that patient. A healthier skin going into a treatment is going to recover faster, and that patient downtime is going to be decreased significantly. So Nectar is and again, like, it comes down to language and messaging and really paying close attention to ingredients, because Skin Nectar has no water in it. It's anhydrous. It goes on almost like a primer, it feels like. It glides onto the skin. It also has no preservatives. It's bacteriostatic. So the creator of this line, one of them, Dr. Alan Widrow, is a world-renowned wound healing expert, a plastic surgeon that teaches at University of California, Irvine campus, and is a South African doctor that all he specialized in was wound healing. And he wanted something that he could apply to a wound to assist with that healing. And that's exactly what Skin Nectar does, and why, unlike, you know, the journey of most skincare brands where it starts off with a lot of consumer excitement and builds up, and then doctors go, what's this all about? Tell me about it. Alastin's story is almost the reverse, where there almost isn't a plastic surgeon or a dermatologist that hasn't heard of Alastin and or isn't currently using it to pair with their procedures and treatments. And then Alastin expanded into daily skincare and some of the specialty serums I was telling you about. So this very much has always been a clinical procedural skincare line, and with those amazing daily skincare products that, again, were created with one intention: make it different than anything else that exists in the market, and make sure it works and is proven and backed by those clinical studies, gene expression studies, and those biopsies as well.
Well, I mean, it makes sense, because when you think about preparing yourself for any kind of surgery or procedure, health-wise, like the body, if you're in a good, healthy state pre-procedure, your recovery and downtime and healing process is so much faster, right? So
Exactly.
it makes perfect sense that you prep the skin. It's just that I think people just sometimes look at it and they're like, you know, just fix it, but they don't think about the prep and then the post, you know, like
Well,
they don't think
imagine
that
if you were
it's gonna
getting,
last organ.
well, Beata, let's put ourselves in, you know, I could speak for myself. I would love a CO2 laser treatment. I would love to just erase a couple of
Yeah.
years of sun damage from when I was younger. But for most people, and for the vast majority, you're looking at 7 days where you probably don't want to be seen in public. In clinical studies using Alastin Skin Nectar to prep the skin and post procedurally, you're looking like you can go out and run your errands on day 4. Now, everyone
Really? Yeah.
heals differently, but if you can reduce your downtime by 50% in some cases, then absolutely this is going to be a game changer for people who are considering a treatment but can't do the downtime. So,
Yeah.
hey, if I take Friday off work and I can go back on Monday, have a CO2 laser done Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I'm a little bit pink as opposed to looking like I have a few layers of my skin. Exactly.
Yeah, it's a
Then
tough one. It's a
for
tough one,
yeah,
and that's why people don't. You know, not a lot of people do it, because you have to actually take time off or be working.
it's a
from home.
commitment. It's a commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's amazing. Tashi, I know you had some questions.
Well, you mentioned that elastin was created to give healthy skin before a treatment. What is, for those who are listening who don't maybe understand the importance of it or what that is, what does a healthy skin look like pre-surgery? And
So
why,
as we
like, why to bring elastin in?
Okay, so let me break it down for you really easily, because in the world of elastin, elastin is known for its most famous patented peptide, and this is a peptide-powered skincare line, and we talk about that buzzword, peptides. But it all comes down to trihex. If you've heard about elastin, you've heard about trihex, which is a combination of known peptides, but when brought together as trihex in this patented form, it actually, think of it as a gardening analogy, right? If you want to plant a beautiful garden, the first thing you need to do is tend to the soil. First of all, get rid of the weeds. seeds and then prepare the soil to plant and grow something amazing. So think about your skin bed very similarly, and think of the extracellular matrix. Inside, especially as we age, we've got this old fragmented collagen elastin, all of these fragmented fibers that are cluttering up the skin, and there's this diminishment and this slowdown in new collagen and elastin formation. So what Trihex does is it penetrates the skin, and it almost is like, think of it like a waste collection truck. It takes all of this fragmented collagen and elastin, it clears it out of the skin, and at the same time, and we always talk about the science is in the sequencing, so sequentially the peptide is powered in such a way that it goes in, clears it out, preps the skin, and facilitates the skin's ability to stimulate and grow healthier new collagen and elastin. So now you're going from a depleted skin to a new collagen elastin state of skin health that is allowing you to respond so much better to those treatments. And you think about the money you invest when you go into a clinic on any type of a treatment, whether it's microneedling, whether you're looking at a pigmentation laser, or even a CO2, or whatever the case may be, you want the best possible outcome. So we often hear from doctors who say when their patients are on a regimen with elastin, they know they can actually go a little bit more aggressively with the laser technology because they know, they have almost that assurance that the skin's going to respond better, heal faster, and so that's going to make all the difference and a better patient outcome. Those treatments are not inexpensive, so often elastin is packaged into the treatments to ensure, just like you would if you were going into surgery, the surgeon will always include the compression garment after the surgery for the patient to wear so that their healing is better facilitated and they can assure a better outcome. That's the same with elastin as well.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Totally. And so,
Definitely.
we talked
Yeah.
about procedures and stuff. I got tongue-tied there. And there's so much available on the market in terms of product and also information that's just randomly shot out there through social and like TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. What key factors do you think people should consider when they're choosing the right product for a pre-procedure and a post-procedure?
So first of all, if you're going to a reputable clinic that carries Alastin skincare, they will know what product to recommend to you, but it's really simple. If you are doing any type of a treatment, whether it's ablative, non-ablative, even surgical, Skin Nectar is the pre and post treatment. It's as simple as that. We even have a procedure enhancement kit that includes that Skin Nectar and the ultralight moisturizer as well as the ultra calm cleanser. So it's always going to be the Skin Nectar, always, unless there's a potential option for people who are getting a non-ablative treatment. There is now some new studies showing the benefits of using HA Immerse, which is our hyaluronic acid serum, especially post microneedling, because it has such a cooling anti-inflammatory effect on the skin, which feels nice. Yeah, it is such a gorgeous texture, non-scented, non-tacky. It's beautiful. So for some people, especially if they're getting a straight up non-RF microneedling treatment, that's an option as well. But anything that has a true wounded skin, that is, especially if it's an open wound or ablative treatment, you're always going to take that Alastin Skin Nectar in with you. Now the trick though, Beata, is people get addicted to the nectar and don't stop using it once the skin is healed. And hey, great, if you love it, use it, but you're really supposed to transition onto the restorative skin complex as your daily all-in-one powerhouse serum thereafter to help keep that skin looking fantastic.
So what's the difference between the two then?
So the nectar is the one that's made for procedures because it obviously it has Trihex, but it's no water, anhydrous, bacteriostatic, preservative free. So think of it as wounded skin equals nectar. And then once the skin is healed, when we're looking at restorative skin complex, and you asked me earlier about, trends, and I was talked about minimalistic skincare. Restorative Skin Complex has antioxidants, it has trihex, it has hydrators, it has everything all in one. And especially if you're someone that gets injectables, this is going to help to some capacity. We would almost think extend the life because it's going to keep that skin plump, hydrated, address fine lines and wrinkles. It's also going to help brighten the skin to some extent. Plus, it has the antioxidants. It's got so much going for it that if you had one product that you were looking for as a specialty serum, it's going to be the Restorative Skin Complex. But it's the sister product to the Nectar. Procedure with Nectar, and then daily skincare with the Restorative Skin Complex.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. And then you've got your Illuminate, which is more for pigment and post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, I'm assuming also. The
Yes,
AK
yes.
which is hyaluronic.
It is. And then, of course, if I had to pick a favorite, it's our new baby on the block, which is the
Yeah,
C
I wanted to
Radical
talk about
Defense.
that.
The
Yeah,
C
I want to hear more
Radical
about that one.
Defense. Okay, this, you haven't tried it yet. Okay, we got to change
No.
that immediately. The C Radical Defense was the number one biggest hyped and top performing launch in the US from Alastin. And sure enough, it has not disappointed here in Canada either. This is a game changer. So up until Alastin's C Radical, innovation in the world of vitamin C products last came in, I believe, 2002. I had a flip phone in 2002, but we all have been using that same type of vitamin C technology, L-ascorbic technology, and the vast 99% of vitamin Cs are L-ascorbic. And you know what? They do a fantastic job from an antioxidant perspective. So when the researchers at Alastin, and keep in mind, it took them until 2023 to come out with a vitamin C. So it's like, hey, what's the holdup here? It was Alastin research and development looking to create something, again, totally differentiated. We don't do Me Too products where you go, oh, this or that, they're the same. Not the same. So C Radical Defense, what makes it so cool as a vitamin C is it's using a novel new form, which is sodium ascorbate, not L-ascorbic acid.
Sodium.
And the reason we're using a salt form is because in studies, although very good as an antioxidant, L-ascorbic acid is actually shown to degrade elastin in the skin. Well, we don't want that. We want all the collagen and elastin we can get and more. So sodium ascorbate actually instead, in studies in combination with another key antioxidant. So there are 15 antioxidants in here, and sodium ascorbate performs equally as well as the leading competitive L-ascorbic product in the market. So same percentage of antioxidant benefit against free radical damage. So check. But here's the kind of like, whoa, the mic drop is with C Radical Defense, the sodium ascorbate in combination with another antioxidant called lactoferrin, when the two of them in combination marry together in one formulation, you actually see in clinical studies an increase in elastin in the skin. So whereas typical vitamin C, great antioxidant, but degrades elastin in the skin to a fairly significant degree, sodium ascorbate with lactoferrin work in combination to promote elastin in the skin. Plus, on top of it, if you're used to a vitamin C, you're probably not used to seeing it as a creamy, it's a creamy, luxurious format. It isn't tacky, it isn't sticky, it has no scent whatsoever, and it also is non-irritating. So for a lot of people who wish they could use vitamin C, this is the perfect alternative for them. And for anyone else who's looking to try something new and fall in love head over heels, this is also a fantastic product as well. And by the way, the science was so significant that 2 studies on this effect, including the lactoferrin mixed in with the sodium ascorbate, increasing the elastin in the skin were on the cover of a very well-known dermatology journal. So it made the cover, this science, and that was in January of 2024. So very significant discovery. So C radical defense is, like an iPhone 18 versus an iPhone 3. This is
Okay.
next
I love
level
I
that.
love your
skincare.
analogies. You've got some good
Well,
analogies.
Yeah.
analogies, yeah, analogies are help, everyone remember the science a little easier.
So that's very interesting, and I did not know that vitamin C degrades elastin in
Well,
the skin. I did
nobody
not.
was nobody cared. No one was looking at
Yeah,
elastin. Everyone's been preoccupied with the antioxidant
and the
benefits and never went,
anti-inflammatory.
"Hey, wait a minute." Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. So this is
Hmm.
to me this is, well, for Alastin Canada, this is now in short order our number one best-selling product since it launched basically the first week of October. So, very, very significant that we now have this in Canada. Everyone's been
Okay.
asking for it and waiting for it, and we're going to have to get you some. Both of you ladies need to
Yeah,
try
I
Yeah,
this.
really would love to try it.
I
I
would
mean,
love
I
to.
see we brought it in, but like we haven't seen the effects of it yet, but it's new, right? It's pretty new.
It's
So we're
brand
gonna
new. It's brand
I'm
new.
sure we're gonna see that.
I have been using the SkinCeuticals PTOX for a couple of weeks now, and I have to say I'm obsessed. This product is a needle-free anti-wrinkle peptide serum that visibly reduces 9 types of expression lines and reveals glass skin radiance. It's a great product to start using when you're not quite ready for injections, or like me, it's the perfect complementary product to use in conjunction with my Botox sessions to maximize wrinkle correction. I even have a couple of friends who have been using the product and have noticed change in their skin texture and any deep wrinkles they may have. You have to try it. Trust me on this. If you want to try the product, go to bskinenvy.ca. That's BSKINENVIE.ca and use code SkinTalks to get 10% off your next order.
That's so interesting. So for application purposes, somebody who would introduce the C radical defense serum into their Alastin routine would be the first product they use after cleansing.
Yeah, so after cleansing, you would absolutely use this because it's like a serum. It really is like a creamy serum. You would
Yeah.
use that first. I would use it twice a day. It actually says, to do one pump in the morning and in the evening. The only caveat to that would be if you're using a retinol in the evening, you might just stick to the vitamin C in the morning and use, Elastin's retinols are very well known also because they're so hydrating. Again, there's always
Hmm.
like a little bit of a surprise with Alastin products. Our research and developers think, what is the number one complaint about fill in the blank? And then let's find a way to
Yeah.
eliminate whatever
So
that
like
one
tolerance
negative
with
is.
retinols, like acclimation
Yeah,
period.
or the drying of the skin. So
Yeah.
instead, ours are super hydrating. They've got
Hmm.
ingredients in our retinols that make it so that it's very tolerable. Also, for a medical grade skincare line, you think about, in the science world, we talk about adverse events. How many adverse events out of every 100 will this product give someone, especially when you're talking about retinols and, to some extent, if a vitamin C is irritating? With elastin, it's 0.04%. It is, if not the lowest, one of the lowest in all of the sphere of medical skincare. Because medical skincare uses very strong active ingredients. That's why
Yeah.
it's typically found in clinics with physicians and
Yeah.
medical
Not over
directors.
counter. Hmm.
Exactly. And so
Hmm.
really to have such a high tolerability rate across this entire line is
It's
again what makes
impressive. It's
this,
very impressive.
yeah, it really is.
It really
Very
is.
cool.
I was curious though because usually when you look at skincare brands, you see like this is the range for acne prone skin. This is the range for pigment. This is the range for. So when you're dealing with people that have, let's say, problems or challenges with acne prone skin or acne, can they use Alastin?
Yeah, in fact, the HA Immerse, because it's quite anti-inflammatory to the skin, the HA Immerse is a product that people absolutely love. And of course, the retinol as well. When you think about acne-prone skin, what tends to happen is, and again, we talk about marketing. Well, first of all, if you truly have a fairly significant acne issue, within, the parent company of Alastin also has a prescription division, and there are prescription options. Like, a Cleef, as an example, would be a prescription option for acne. But if you're sticking to just your topical non-prescription solutions, then we have a 0.25 retinol. And because it's gentle to the skin, you really need to encourage that cellular turnover. So again, my number one bit of advice would be go ask a dermatologist what you should do if you're concerned about your skin. But at the end of the day, we hear a lot of and receive a lot of great feedback from clinicians, estheticians who use our products in clinic every day and are just blown away at how universal this skincare line is, in that it's not broken down into, and we talked about marketing earlier as well. We don't have to take 3 products and claim this is your routine for this and this is your routine for that. Really, the products are addressing concerns. Is it pigmentation? Is it a hydration issue that you're looking to fix? Do you want an antioxidant? But if you look at our ingredient list, you will find that the vast majority of our products have incredible hydrators built into them. Like silver mushroom is many thousand times more hydrating than hyaluronic acid. So we put silver mushroom repetitively in multiple different products for that reason. So a mix between, I always think about, and there's another buzzword, clean science. What is clean science? There is no universal definition of clean science, but for some, it's not having a list of certain ingredients that are not permissible in Europe. Europe is used as a gold standard. Alastin's formulations are in Europe, so we don't have those ingredients. So therefore, if that's a term people want to use or feel comfortable with, we could say clean science as well, with that respect. So it's all about talking to a clinic professional, listening to a great podcast like this, getting the education you need on what's right for you, and then picking up on a fabulous product to serve your skincare needs and purposes, not the needs of what some influencer is telling you you need to use.
Some sort.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's a big thing we want to talk about.
Yeah, this has
Yeah.
been really, really interesting, and
Yeah, I
I'm
learned
excited
so
to
much
try the
today.
new product.
Good. I learned that you ladies need to try C Radical. So I'm going to make sure that happens. And then on your next podcast, you'll do one talking exclusively about how much you love C
Well,
Radical.
it's new to Canada, and like
Yeah.
we get so many products coming in across our desks to try and see, but it's just not one that has come across the desk yet. But we're looking forward to it. We love,
Yet.
for us, we're all about the science and finding things that work, and and being different. Like you said, it's very important to have products that are going to work and that are different and that sort of break a lot of the barriers around what's going on in the industry. And I love that you guys are doing that. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
And,
Very
Allison's
innovative.
grown. For us as a
Elastin
company,
and innovation. Those are 2 words that go very well together. We
Yeah.
always talk about, one of our taglines is there's science and then there's Elastin science, because it really is next level. So that's why we align so beautifully with Boutique Skin Envie, because it is, your reputation as business owners is so important to you. So whenever, a premium brand like Boutique Skin Envie aligns to a premium brand like Alastin, you know that there's going to be a great relationship there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And to be
definitely.
honest, it's grown to be one of our biggest brands. Like it's very,
Yeah.
very, very popular. And a lot of people, like you said, it's the pre-procedure, and then they get on the Alastin routine pre-procedure, and then they just fall
And I
in
love
love.
it.
Yeah.
Well, we always say there are 2 types of Alastin users: people who use it and are obsessed with it, and those who haven't tried it yet. Those are the
Yeah.
only 2 categories that
I love
exist.
that. I love that. This
I
has
love
been
that.
great. Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so much for
joining us
today.
today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, and I
Yeah,
can't
I
wait to
want
meet up with
before
you in person.
one of these days, before we get off, I just want
Yeah,
to ask you one
definitely.
question. I wanted to ask you, what's your favorite one Alliston product that everybody needs?
I want to say the C Radical, because it's so transformative to the vitamin C space. but I'm also going to add in there the Hydra tint.
Oh my
I know
God.
that you guys work with a couple of local Montreal ladies who talk a lot about some fabulous skincare products. And I think it was Martha Stewart was raving about this. I can't keep up with the number of organic endorsements for Hydratint. It is a
It's
pro
amazing.
mineral sunscreen with a universal glow to it that is so, so gorgeous. And again, cult favorite. I can't open my phone without finding, again,
Yeah,
non-paid
I'm
organic
literally wearing it
references to it.
today.
So am
I'm
I.
wearing
I'm
the
wearing it today
Hydra
too.
today. I wear it
Yeah.
every single day without a doubt, and it's like the perfect substitute for a foundation, especially for everyday makeup. So you're not like clogging your pores with like so much makeup on. It's so thin and light, and I mean, my skin looks
And
fab.
dewy. So
Yeah,
dewy, so
That's the
beautiful. Yeah,
thing.
I
so
love
I
It's a
it.
have to mention
mineral.
that. That's a
It's a
fave.
mineral sunscreen that doesn't make your skin feel dry. Period.
Like, or
Yeah,
look
It's
like
wild.
Casper the Friendly Ghost.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
You know, when you put a mineral, sometimes you put mineral sunscreens on it, and it's just like you can just kind of feel it. You
You
know,
can tell. You
you
can
can
tell
tell.
someone's
And it's
wearing
just like
a
just another
mineral.
layer of dewiness. I find. I love it. I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah. And I will say, considering we have one tone, one of my dermatologist friends, she's of East Indian descent, and it's beautiful on her skin also. So I'd say right through to a Fitzpatrick, even 4, bordering on 4, it's going to be a
Yeah.
perfect universal tint.
Yeah. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you have the silk shield, right, which can be used for.
Yeah, and the Silk Shield is also a procedural SPF, so you can use that product right after you've had a procedure, whereas you probably wouldn't do that with the Hydra Tint. And also, okay, you know what? I will say, I don't want to throw one of my sons under the bus, but he does love the Hydra Tint on his skin. But my other sons prefer the Silk Shield, but he loves it because it gives you almost this
A glow.
mattifying, pore blurring effect. And
Oh
so
yeah,
he
yeah.
loves the look of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, 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 very interesting. Very interesting. Well, this is, like I said before, this has been great, very informative. Love hearing all about these innovations and where Alastin is going, and I can't wait to like learn more about what's to come.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all very exciting, and we'll have to talk about all of those new frontiers in regenerative
Yes.
skincare and aesthetics that are coming down the
Yeah, I
pipeline
love it.
in the future. But lots of excitement from Alastin that is going to, in the next couple of years, blow your socks off.
Oh, I love it. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
definitely.
Feeling very lucky to be carrying it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you, ladies. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the episode, please take a moment to rate, review, and follow us on social at Skin Talks Pod. We'll see you next week.